Good morning, everyone. Today, I have taken up a topic deliberately for you. This topic is important from the viewpoint that there is a rapid restructuring in the job that is going on in the job market. The constant rise of the global temperature from the pre industrial age to this point of time has risen by 1 degree Celsius. The world leaders are meeting at different climate convention summits, and actually they are discussing, trying to find out solutions as how to contain this global temperature. Primary reason for rise in this global temperature is in fact is happening due to the human activity. If we go to the root cause of this rise in the global temperature, it is actually the carbon emissions. We need to reduce carbon emissions considerably across all industries, across all human endeavors. The great speech in this regard can be cited here, as was given by a young Swedish climate activist, Miss Greta Thunberg, who in her speech challenged the world leaders by stating that how dare you leave a world to the future generations wherein it would be very difficult for us to sustain. Therefore, the global leaders, they through different climate conventions adopted certain measures, and those measures have been implemented and would be implemented in due course of time so that we can contain global temperature by 1.5 degrees Celsius. And we must also be able to achieve the net zero target by 2070. India, who happens to be the third largest carbon emitter in this regard, has taken up number of such initiatives, and our progress in the renewable energy sector is actually commendable. Now, through my presentation today, I shall endeavor to show you that it is the time that we acquire certain green skills so as to be remain viable in the job market. The world job market is making a transition from the conventional way of doing the things to the green way of doing the things. Therefore, it is imperative that we imbibe green skills in us. Now, my presentation here for you on the green skills and the green jobs, not only in the Indian context, but taking into account the complete world as a whole. Green skills. What we understand by green skills? Green skills are the knowledge, abilities, values, and attitudes needed to live in, develop, and support a sustainable and resource efficient society. Let us not forget that United Nations has given us 17 different sustainable development goals, and those goals must be achieved within a definite time frame. The green skills and the green jobs are actually forming part of these sustainable development goals. The Green Skill Index identifies 4 different groups of jobs that are especially important for green occupations. The first one is the engineering and technical skills. These are actually the hard skills encompassing competences involved with the design, construction, and assessment of technology, usually mastered by engineers and technicians. This know-how is needed for making eco buildings, go for renewable energy designs, as you can see it in the picture, how the renewable energy can be used, and energy saving research and development projects. The next one in the order is the science skills. Here we can see that the competences stemming from bodies of knowledge which are broad in scope and essential to innovation activities. And this involves the disciplines like physics, biology, etc. The skills are especially in high demand in the present day, and which concerns our basic amenities of life such as water, sewage services, electricity. An example you can see here that the scientists have been able to develop, bio-urban trees, bio-trees. These trees are actually can release equivalent amount of oxygen amounting to the oxygen generated by 368 trees. This is also equivalent to the breath of persons per day, which can take into account about 2,850 people. Artificial tree to absorb carbon dioxide. You can have a glimpse on the bio-urban city. Here you can see the Mexico City, where these have been implemented. Then next in the order comes the operation management skills. Operation management skills involve know-how related to change in organization structure required to support green activities, and an integrated view of the firm through life cycle development management, lean production, and cooperation with external actors, including customers. These skills are actually important for sales engineers, climate change analysts, sustainability specialists, chief sustainability officers, and transportation planners. So, the skills are all about the operation management skills. The next type of skills that we can find here is the monitoring skills. Monitoring skills are basically the technical and legal skills, the technical and legal aspects of business activities that are fundamentally different way from the engineering or the science skills. They refer to the skills required to assess the observance of legal and technical standards. Examples could be environmental compliance inspectors, nuclear monitoring technicians, emergency management directors, legal professionals, legal assistants. We shall further go into the details of each of these skills. Now, let us have a glance over the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. Here you can see there are 17 different goals that the United Nations have set in for us. No poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice and strong institutions, partnership for the goals. All these sustainable development goals are to be met, keeping in view the progress that we make in every sphere of human activity, including the industrial production. Do you know that green initiatives comes as a compliance to the UN sustainability goals? You can find here the United Nations have set the 17 goals and the green initiative is a part of this. Green talent is growing by 38% year over year. This is the requirement. Jobs in green segments are increasing at the rate of 237% as compared to 19% only in industries like oil and gas. Here is a graph where you can see the global renewable energy employment by technology, the data from 2012 to 2020. Here you can see the application of solar photovoltaics, bioenergy, hydropower, wind energy, solar heating or cooling and others. And the jobs are in millions. So right from the year 2012 up to 2020, the figures are growing in a progressive manner that you can see from this pictorial representation. It is also pertinent to mention that India has set a target to reduce the carbon intensity of the nation's economy by less than 45% by the end of the decade, that is by 2030. Achieve 50% cumulative electric power installed by 2030 from only renewable sources, 50%, and achieve net zero carbon emissions by 2070. Low carbon technologies could create a market worth up to $80 billion in India by 2030. Going by these figures, you can understand that the job market is expanding by leaps and bounds. So we are in a position to increase the green skills right now, and we must do that. World Renewable Energy Employment Data. Here is another figure. You can see here the International Renewable Energy Agency. This data is provided by the different areas as has been discussed previously, that the years taken from 2012 to 2019 and the different renewable energies that have been uh, employed, and the figures are growing year over year. Renewable energy and jobs, as on 2018, the renewable energy sector employs 10.3 million people, with most jobs in Asia. You can see the figures here. Now, if we order the sectors of employment who are all fast changing to green skills, the orders are corporate services, manufacturing, energy and mining, public administration, construction, design, agriculture, education, non-profit organizations, consumer goods, healthcare, real estate, transportation and logistics, recreation and travel, software and IT services, public safety, finance, retail, hardware and networking, media and communication, wellness and fitness industries, entertainment, legal sector, and arts. So, the sector which is fast making a transition to the green skills is at the top, and the least one is at bottom. How this in the construction work in building our homes, we are making a transition from conventional way of constructing the house to the resource efficient and sustainable one. You can see here. Sectors and jobs where green skills are in high demand. So if we go by the sectors and the jobs there, we see that in the renewable energy, the advanced manufacturing and fuel cell technology, that the jobs are in high demand. In green buildings, like green architects and designers are in high demand. Energy auditors and weatherization, you know, professionals are in high demand. In sustainable transport, energy efficient vehicles, artificial intelligence and deep learning for sustainable transportation. The world has made a remarkable progress in this field. We can see that lot of EV vehicles are coming up, and there also you can see the application of the artificial intelligence and deep learning. We can even find that we have been able to make remarkable progress in driverless cars. Then in the next sector, as water management, here the water management production and project implementation, water management planning, design and services. Waste management is yet another important area. The product development and environmental specialists, which are in high demand. In land management, sustainable land management specialists, ecologists are in high demand. Take a glimpse of the green buildings at Milan, Italy. How eco-friendly and green buildings are made. Fukuoka, Japan. Waste management has become a challenge. The United Nations Environment Assembly meeting in Nairobi has adopted a resolution detailing what to do about plastic pollution. Plastic wastes is actually posing a great threat to the human civilization. It calls for 2 years of negotiations towards a comprehensive international treaty on the full life cycle of plastics. Here, delegates from 175 countries endorsed an agreement that addresses plastic waste. The United Nations says 400 million tons of plastic is produced every year, and that figure is set to double by 2040. This needs urgent attention. Now, here are some figures from the United States of America. Clean energy in America. You can see the figures. The application of the nuclear energy, hydropower, wind energy, solar and geothermal energy as on 2018 and their relative percentages. Sources of renewable energy in gross electricity consumption across European Unions. I mean, if you take the European Union as a whole, you can see the contributions made by different renewable sources like hydro and wind. These are the greatest contributors. Then comes the solar, then the other renewables and the solid biofuels. Share of energy from renewable sources in gross electricity consumption in European Union 2021 data. There are different European Union countries. You can see their share of energy from renewable sources. right from Austria to Iceland. Malta, perhaps the lowest one. European Union's average is 37.5%. Eurostat data. The idea is every nation around the globe is trying to bring about changes in their consumption pattern and making a transition from conventional energy source to renewable energy sources. And this particular transition calls for a restructuring, a complete restructuring in the job sector. Therefore, it is important that we also must acquire the green skills in us. If you are to achieve 100% on earth, the energy from different renewable sources, so this is the projected energy mix, and that we expect to be achieved by 2050. Here is the distribution that you can find. The residential rooftop solar 5.4%, commercial and government rooftop solar 9.9%. The solar plants would be contributing to the extent of 26.5%, wave devices 0.3%, concentrating solar plants 2.4%, geothermal energy 0.7%, onshore wind 38.2%, that is the maximum, hydroelectric 5%, offshore wind 11.5%, tidal turbines 0.1%. Types of renewable energy: bioenergy, geothermal energy, hydrogen, hydropower, marine energy, solar energy, wind energy. Share of electricity from renewable sources, again another data from 2019, percentage of total gross electricity consumption right from Austria to Iceland and also the United Kingdom. You can find here renewable energy market size 2021 to 2030 in billion US dollars. So you can see from 2021 to 2030 how the energy market is expected to grow. It is a steady growth we can find from $952.16 billion US dollar to 1998.03 billion US dollars. So to take advantage of this whooping jump, we need to acquire green skills and join the green economy. Energy from renewable sources in transport, percentage of gross final energy consumption 2020. Again, the data is for the European Union. We are using it in the transportation sector. You can have a glance over it. A remarkable progress is also made by different Indian industries. I have given an example like Tata Power, how Tata Power is making a rapid transition in this sector. And the green job market potential in India. India, which ranks third globally in carbon emissions, transitioning fast towards a green economy, will be able to provide about 50 million green sector jobs by 2070. Therefore, it is important that we must identify sector-wise different skill sets required in us so that we can also make a transition in ourselves so as to be industry ready. Greening of jobs is not an option now, but a necessity. So whatever courses that you undertake right now, whether it is engineering, technology courses, or it is management courses or law courses or courses pertaining to any other professions, try to make an alignment of green skills with that of your present course. If required, go for, you know, achieving additional certificates or certificate courses, and these courses are being offered across the globe by renowned universities and institutions, and in most of the cases these courses are free. Therefore it is important that whatever professions you would like to undertake in future, please imbue a culture of acquiring green skills in you, because acquiring green skills is a necessity now, and world is making a rapid progress in this arena. Thanks to different sources that I have used my data and the information from these valuable sources, and thank you very much for seeing this presentation. Thank you all.